Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm MrTieDye, and today we're going to talk about stencils. But first I wanted to thank everybody for liking and watching my videos, making comments, and also the donations. That really helps me be able to keep making more of these videos, so it is very much appreciated. So I've already done a video on how I make these plastic stencils out of these cutting boards here. But another type of stencil is made from this freezer paper. It's a wax paper, so it's got a paper on one side and it's got a shiny waxy side on the other. And these are really nice for making stencils out of. So what I usually do is this one here I have it folded in half and just line up your stencil, or if you don't want to you don't have to make a stencil, I just did. But you can draw whatever you want on here and then cut that out. And then this will be able to be ironed onto a t-shirt to block out part of it. So what I'm getting ready to do is some reverse dyeing, and it's not actually reverse dyeing, it's removing of color from a t-shirt. So one of them I'm going to do a mushroom. So I needed a stencil. So voila, we're going to have a mushroom stencil out of this wax paper. So now I can take this here and I can iron it onto a tee. This is a black tee because, like I said, I'm going to be doing some reverse dyeing or removing of color. And I centered this tee, and you probably can't see it, but I drew just a really light line with just like a dress marker pen on there. So now I have the center and I have this folded line here, so all I have to do is line that up where I want it on the t-shirt, center this line, and okay, so what I'm going to do is iron this on. So I've just kind of lined it up there where I want it. I kind of have a center line drawn that you guys can't quite see there. Just used like a dressmaker's pencil. So you just iron this down. And I usually just kind of go around all of the edges here, just make sure that all of them are down nice and tight. Because later on I don't want whatever I'm putting on here to seep underneath there. So I just try to make sure that that is ironed down nice and tight, so that you always put the paper side up, the waxy side towards the t-shirt. And then I'm just ironing this on like the hottest cotton setting, no steam, just on a dry t-shirt. So once you have that done, then you're ready to go. There is the Bleach Stop, because if you don't stop the bleach, rinsing it and washing it is not enough with bleach. Bleach will continue to eat away at the fabric over time. So you might have a great looking t-shirt for a couple weeks, but after you've washed it 2 or 3 times, you might start developing holes. That's bad enough if it's your own t-shirt, but if it's one that you've sold to a customer and your customer now has a t-shirt that slowly get holes in it, that's not a good thing. So you want to make sure that you bleach stop, and there's a couple ways of doing that. Dharma sells a bleach stop called sodium thiosulfate. It comes in crystal form, and as per the directions it says to use 1 ounce per 1 gallon of warm water. Soak and agitate for 15 minutes, then rinse in cold water. Okay, so I usually will do 20 minutes in there, and I have measured this out, weighted on a scale, and found out that the dry weight is about equal to the liquid weight. I usually go just a little bit heavy. I have a 1.5 gallons of lukewarm water here, so I got my lines on there. So I'm going to use 2 ounces of this Bleach Stop. So I like to get this mixed up ahead of time so that when I'm ready to dunk my t-shirt, because it's the color that I want it, then I have this all ready to go. So there's 2 ounces, and I'll usually just pour that in, and you can just stir it around just a little bit. I wear gloves when I'm doing this, just because I don't like the extra chemicals on my hands. Plus I'm going to wear them for the bleaching anyways. So it doesn't take much stirring around, and those crystals will dissolve down in there. So that's one method of stopping the bleach. The other method is with hydrogen peroxide. So I got another tub of water for the hydrogen peroxide. I'd go 9 parts water, 1 part hydrogen peroxide. So to get this tub filled up, I usually kind of have a general idea of how much it takes, but what I did was I filled up this 2-cup measuring cup 9 times and poured it in here, and now I'm going to take 1 more cup, or actually it's 2 cups. So I'm doing 9 parts water, 1 part hydrogen peroxide. So that's just an easy way of measuring that out. And now my Bleach Stop is ready to go. Okay, so now the other way that I use bleach, I made this stencil, I ironed it on there, and now what I'm going to do is I put bleach water in one of these spray bottles, and now I'm just going to kind of spray around this here, and the wax paper is going to block off and leave my mushroom intact. But I like to have it a nice fine mist, and I don't like to have it down close here where I'm spraying. I like to have it up further where I'm getting more of just a mist. So you can just spray around the whole design there. And I like to make sure that I've gotten the whole edge of the stencil here. And you can just spray around the whole rest of the t-shirt there. And I also have it on a board here so that the bleach isn't soaking through to the other side of the t-shirt. It's just going to be here on the front of the t-shirt. So we're going to let that sit for a few minutes, and I'm using the same 50-50 bleach water. Okay, let's take a look at our mushroom and see how that's doing. So now what I'm going to do is just peel up an edge and then peel that stencil right off of there. Since it's had bleach on it, it's a little bit soggy, so it doesn't want to peel off all at the same place, but you basically just reach on there and peel that up, and then you have your nice black area left behind. And once this one sits for a little bit longer, then I'll put it into the bleach, well, I'll rinse it and put it in the Bleach Stop also. There we go. Okay, so there's the mushroom. So we're going to put that, rinse that out. I'll pick the rest of this stuff off of here. That wax paper is really nice. It does come off fairly easily most of the time. So rinse that. And then that goes into the bleach also there, into the stop. So there's the 3 t-shirts. And they're going to soak in this here for 20 minutes. I try to make sure that they're completely submerged. And I'll slosh them around a little bit too, just to make sure that they don't get any air pockets. So like this here pocket here, I'm going to try to work that so that stays underneath the Bleach Stop. But I'll come back every couple minutes and poke that around, just make sure that everything is good. I make sure to rinse my hands off if I don't have my gloves on. And then these will be at the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Okay, here's one more thing. So I got one of these stencils that I made out of this plastic stuff. I'll put the stencil video in the link there of how I make these. But you can make a stencil in any way you want. You've seen the paper stencil, or with the wax paper. This here is just another quick and easy way of doing this. So what I'm going to do is take some of this toilet bowl cleaner with the bleach in there, and I just squirt some in a little tray here. This here is just lid from one of my dye things, and take a sponge and you wet the sponge with the bleach, and I make sure to hold this in place, and then you're just going to tap all the way around your design, refilling your sponge as needed. So this is just another way of applying the bleach. If you don't want to use the spray bottle, or you don't have a spray bottle, you can just put it on with the sponge, and then you can go around and color the whole rest of the t-shirt, or reverse dye the whole rest of the t-shirt. So I make sure that I get in all the little corners here, and then I can expand that out to the rest of the tee, however you like. So just lots of ways of playing with your tee, or you can do this on a pair of jeans. So if you have a nice dark pair of jeans, you can take some color out of them. So here I'm just taking color out of this whole t-shirt and just going all the way around, just kind of randomly. But the main thing is that you always want to remember to stop the bleach action, otherwise you will end up with holes. So let's... Okay, so now I'll lift this up carefully, and there is my shamrock. So I'm going to let this sit for just a couple more minutes, and then we'll get it rinsed also.